Here we are again, the older gentleman has released yet another movie, and I can confidently say you're all going to watch it. Just like me. I really like the universe Kane Pixels created, and I hope the movie will be just as good. It's still a couple of days away though, so I have to do something in the meantime. All I have on my mind is that film though. Ooh. We'll start small. What greatly contributes to the atmosphere of Kane's videos are the camera effects. Being the absolute professional that I am, I managed to create this within 10 minutes, and not 2 hours. I think it looks pretty cool, but I can do better. So after borrowing some code for a camera shake, but being pro enough to make a run script myself, I got really close to what I had in mind. There's still some stuff to fine-tune, but I'll leave that for later. Right before I started coding actual game mechanics, I decided to make a main menu. I first prepared a scene for it, and once I was done, I started making the menu itself. I really like working on UI, and I think it turned out pretty nice. Next up, I wanted to try out a thing I've never done before. Procedural generation, but on level easy. I already had a vague idea of how to approach this in my mind. I'd create a grid of base parts marking the positions where pre-made map tiles should appear, then run code that would actually make that happen. And so I began scripting, knowing very little how long it would take. But ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you, after multiple failures, a working prototype. Exciting. So now I had to actually create the backrooms, the tiles I was talking about earlier to be exact. I first modeled individual elements I would later use for the tiles, like this emergency exit sign or this office-like ceiling lamp. And after some work off camera, I had a bunch of tiles ready to be tested. Each of them is unique, special in its own way. Like me. Anyway, here's how the procedural generation performs like in action. It will make every server have a different layout, which I think is pretty cool. We're pretty much done with the map. However, I can still make it look better. To achieve this, I can use lighting objects, such as bloom. I don't know how about you all, but I think this looks sick. However, even though the game looks somewhat nice now, there's no actual gameplay, nothing happens, it's boring. I could just code monster NPCs and call it a day, but that would be even more boring. Instead, what if the players had a chance to become the monster? That's how I came up with a pretty simple concept for the game. I wanted it to have rounds, where one of the players would need to kill everyone else. It's also a thing I've never tried before, and it seemed pretty hard, so you know what that means.
And we could say, game begins.
Eventually though, I managed to script randomized role selection, the round system, and redesigned my menu UI to tell the players who they're going to play as. Right now though, none of this really matters. You still spawn as you, and not really the role you were given. I only needed one more thing to have a raw finished game, that being the actual monster a player could turn into. One toolbox search revealed these lads, among which was the character I was gonna use. I only needed the character model, and wanted to animate the rig myself. I'm not a pro at this though, it's just fun. I then quickly tested morphing, ensuring everything works, before implementing it into the game. Sick. Once I did that, I also coded a simple jump scare. But soon, problems arose. The entity was too big to fit through this particular door, so I had to enlarge it. Next issue, the match continues even when the entity, or the last no-clipped leaves the match. I spent way too much time on addressing this issue, but being the professional that I am, I made it. And with that, the game was really close to being finished, but not ready just yet. Now that I'm done with core mechanics, I can polish details and improve the quality of my game. So, I scripted the settings tab. Added a small timer. introduced music and sound effects, and much, much more. At last, it was time to publish my game. I filled out the questionnaire, created and uploaded a cover image, and then published for all. Well, not really. So, if you want to play and try out the game, the link is in the description. Now, am I proud of what I created? Well, I learned a ton of new stuff, I improved, and also, it's my first actual multiplayer game, so I'm really happy with what I made. Obviously, there's a lot of room for improvement, and I would gladly turn development of this game into a series. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, see you all soon again.